Continuing with rational expressions. Now we're going to do division, and what you're going to see is it's exactly the same as multiplication. We just need to remember one thing back from our fraction days. So let me see what we got here. Okay, well, I guess we're going right to it. I thought we'd have an example. Let me show you. So I understand if this is not something you have pleasant memories of. Let me see. But if you were to, that's supposed to be a division sign, looks terrible, but do you remember how we would do this with fractions? There was a trick called keep, change, flip. We don't want to divide fractions, we turn it into multiplication. So we keep the first fraction, change it to multiplication, and we turn the second one upside down. Now, once we've done this, it's exactly the same problem as we did in our last video. It's just exactly the same. We can slash down, reduce, and just multiply across. Well, let's get started and you'll see that this is nothing different. So I'm going to just take this. Oh, they went too quick there. They went all that too fast. So let's do it ourselves. We're going to turn this into multiplication and flip the second fraction upside down. Okay, now I see that I've got a backwards thing here, but after this it's the same thing we did. Everything's going to get factored. Okay, now it's factored down and it's exactly like we did in the last video. I've got an x plus 9. Those can be canceled. Now I want to cancel the x minus 6's, but this is the wrong way around. So all I have to do, I'm going to put my minus down there, and now I can do it. Now when I was doing the last video, one of the things I wanted to make sure you remembered, the top now is empty, but it's really a 1 there. When we cross something out, we're really replacing it with a 1, which doesn't change anything when we multiply, but if you leave this empty, we need to make sure that 1 is there. The top did not just disappear. This isn't going to be x minus 9. It's going to be, there's got to be a 1 on the top, and we've got our minus out front, and we're all set. Okay, so always pause if you want to do it yourself. Now I'm going to just go ahead and factor this. So I flipped it. That's all I've done, is I turned the second one over. Keep, change, flip. Now I went ahead and factor so I didn't have to write it twice. This is exactly like the other one. I can go ahead and cancel those. Now c minus 5 and 5 minus c. I can do that if I put the minus out front. And I don't want to leave that top empty. There we go. All right, let's do another one. Keep, change, and I'm flipping that second fraction upside down. Now this one, yeah, let's do this because it's written in a weird way. Now, nothing here factors except this guy back here. Now, what would that be? Don't let the order, I know we usually have the variables in the front, I know, but it doesn't change anything. It still has a square root on the front and a square root on the back. Okay, and add the minus in the middle, so we get this. Okay, now let's start slashing down. Those are a perfect match. Now, the only thing here is now these are the wrong way round. So I'm going to make a minus, which will allow me to cancel them. Now I can't leave the top empty, and we get that. Okay, let's see what they got for us here. I don't think anything's going to change. We just have more factoring. But so we're going to take this, we're going to keep, change it to multiplication, and flip it upside down. Then we just factor everything, we slash down, and whatever is left is our answer. Okay, so I've got 2m squared. And now I'm keep, change, and I'm going to flip that second one upside down. Okay, now it just turns into a problem like last time. So you don't have to do this. I'm going to make sure you remember that m squared would look like this. Down here I'm going to factor out a GCF of an m. Okay, let's factor up here. Remember, 6 is tricky. There can be multiple ways you can do that. I think I got that right. Down here I'm taking out an 8m. Okay, so now I can start slashing down my matches. Got M's that cancel, M's that cancel. Okay, now I'm going to show you that this is what often happens with the numbers. If you don't break a number down all the way, you get something like this. Well, when you get to the end, if this was 2 over 8, you could reduce that to 1 over 4. So we're going to make this, and that doesn't really make any difference. I don't need the 1 there, but we can put it, it's just the same. Okay, let's try another one. I'm going to go ahead and factor out and now so I factored the first one just to save some time. Keep, change, flip it upside down. So all I've done here is I've turned this up, kept it, changed it to multiplication, flipped this one upside down, and I went ahead and factored it. So this is the factorization of that. Okay, now we've got some things to cancel. I should probably do this so it makes more sense. So here's what I've got left. I'm going to cancel this stuff out here in just a second. Now I did it like this so that you could see all the numbers. My 3's would cancel. I can cancel an n. My 5's cancel. And I've got n. And there we go. Now remember, this n cannot cancel with that n. It's a digit. It's part of the story, but it's not a whole number. It's not the whole thing. So it's not a match. Okay, just more complicated factoring, I suppose. We kept the first one, changed it to multiplication, and flipped it upside down. Now we had a whole lot of factoring, but everything on the top, we can slash with anything down on the bottom. We get all that slashing down to that. All right, let me try this one. Again, try it yourself if you want to. So I'm keeping, changing it to multiplication, and flipping it upside down. Okay, now there's no GCF here, so this is going to be the AC method. So I'm going to do that over here. This can be negative. Oops, no. It's going to be -9 and +1. On the back, I'm taking a 1. Do you remember you always have to take something? All right, so I've got a match there. Now, if you don't understand what I'm doing over here, check out that video. So all of that turned into 3a plus 1, a minus 3. Okay, now let's do this one. So that's a plus 5 times another a plus 5. It has square roots on the front and the back. It's got a middle with a plus. It's double of this. So there we go. Okay, now I'm going to do, this one needs to be done. It needs an AC method. So it's minus 15 when I multiply the a times the c. So that's negative 15. Yeah, so we've got negative 15 and plus 1. All right, I'm running out of space here. I hope you can see that. So similar problem on this back end. I have to take something, so I'm going to take a 1. So I'm going to just jump up here now, and here's the finish of this. 3a and 1. So the 3a and the 1 become part of it. The match becomes everything else. Now it's factored. Now, anything on the top can cancel with anything on the bottom, so let's go through here and see what we get. Is that the best I can do? It appears so. So I have a minus 3. Okay. Hold on, I want to see what we got left here. Oh, quite a bit. I don't know what we've got coming. Okay, let's keep going. Maybe they've got some tricks for us. All right, so keep, change, flip. Now I'm going to just go ahead and do my factoring on this first one right now. It's going to be -8. So I'm doing an AC method here. Back end, I got to take something. I'm taking -1. So remember, the match becomes 1. The rest of it becomes something else. So I get 4b minus 1. On the bottom, it's the wrong way around, but don't let that bother us. We're just going to turn that into 1 minus b and 1 plus b. It had square roots on the front and the back. That's fine. Now I've changed it to multiplication, and I'm going to flip this upside down. So I'm going to just go ahead and factor. This is the top now, and I'm going to factor that. So I would have b minus 1 times another b minus 1. Remember, we flipped. Now let's look at this one. It's going to be the bottom here. So I'm going to AC method this. 4 and -4 is -16. So I'm getting positive. So I'm going to have 4b squared plus 16a minus 1a minus 4. Remember, two numbers to make -16. Add to get that 15 in the middle. Those are my numbers. Got to take something on the back end, so I'm taking a 1. Hold on, one of my signs is off here. Did I pick the wrong two numbers? -16. Oh yeah, here's the problem. Should have been a -1. Okay, so on this back end, I'm taking a -1, which will change the signs that follow. What have I done? I've gotten all confused here. These are b's. Okay, so this is a b plus 4. Sorry about that. The end result will make sense if you tried this on your own. You're going to get 4b minus 1, b plus 4. Okay, we're ready to start slashing down. I got matches. Not as many as I thought. Okay, so actually, do you remember? Well, that one doesn't go either. So the only thing we have here is that I've got 1 minus b, which is the wrong way around. So I'm going to put a minus down here, which is going to allow me to do it. And now we're just going to put whatever's left on the top over whatever is left on the bottom. Okay, so I think they're just getting much harder, but it's the same idea. We're going to keep, change, flip. Keep the first one, change it, flip the other one upside down. Now, what's happening here is, do you remember this is cubic? Do you remember how to do that? AB, a squared, AB, b squared. So that's the only difference. And what's happened here, I would have thought we'd have another match, but yeah, we don't. So we don't have very many matches. So a lot harder because of the cubic, but same idea. So let me do one here. Do you remember this one? I'm going to go ahead and do this now. So the a is x, the b is 2. So we would do a, b, a squared, a times b, b squared. And then SOAP was the same as you started, opposite, always positive. Now on this bottom here, I'm going to start by taking out a 3, and I get x squared minus 2x plus 4. Now, you'll have to take my word for this here. I've got square roots on the front and the back, but it doesn't make the right middle. This is actually prime. There's nothing else you can do to factor that. Change to multiplication, flip this guy upside down. Okay, now we're ready to start canceling some matches. Now 6 is 3 times 2, so I'm going to cancel these. It would leave a 2 up there. Alright, so we've got this. Doesn't matter how you write these on the bottom, but I'm going to just go this way. Okay, now it's really tempting here, but that's a positive 2 and that's a minus 2, so we can't do anything with that. Okay, try this if you want to. Now, just because I don't want to write this nasty mess several times, I'm going to factor this. I probably should have done that too, but now change it to multiplication, flip it upside down. Now this is cubic. I've got a square root or a cube root on the front and a cube root on the back. Oops. I jumped ahead on my sign, but so same as what you started with, opposite, always positive. Now let's factor this on the top. So this, remember, we flipped this upside down, so now I'm doing this for the bottom. I'm going to take a z out of there. Okay, now it's tempting. It's close to this, but it's not the same, so it can't be done. The best I can do is here. I can take one of the z's from this square. Remember, z squared would be two of them, so I can do that. And that appears to be everything that I can do. Okay, we're good to go. All right, the only twist here is that they didn't make this a fraction. Just I'll show you, see what they're going to do. So if we had a number, we want to divide a fraction by the number 3, we would just make it a fraction, and then we'd turn it upside down. That's the same thing we're going to do here. We made it a fraction, flipped it upside down, factored everything. Now once it's flipped, it's the same story, canceled everything down. We get to here, same game. Okay, so we're going to do the same. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't know if this is all you can do, but I'm taking a 2 out of there. I'm going to make 4 2 times 2 just because I know it's going to cancel. Now I'm going to make this over 1, keep the first one, change it to multiplication, and flip it upside down. So this is now on the bottom, and for the sake of space and time, I'm going to go ahead and factor it. Okay, oh no, we're going to have to write it again anyway because this is not done. So this can be done up here. Okay, start slashing down, and I am left with all right. Sorry, I keep wondering what's left here to do. Give me just a moment here to check. I don't know what's twisty left, but we'll keep going. Okay, so this is going to be the same. We're going to make this a 1 over there. So I'm going to factor this. Now we change this to be over a 1, and we're going to flip it upside down. Keep, change, flip. I'm going to go ahead and start factoring this by pulling out a 3y. Okay, my matches. Wow, that's it. That's all we got. Well, when I put the y and the 3y back together, I'm going to make that 3y squared. Okay. All right, I don't know what's different about this other than being really messy. Let's just see. So I see. They've written this as over top of each other, but this is still division. Remember, if you've got fractions like this, it's the exact same thing as this is. Very same thing. So we're just going to keep the top, change it, and then flip it. So do you remember these are the same thing? So we're keeping the top, changing it to multiplication, and flipping the bottom. Otherwise, we're doing the same thing. I guess I'll do some more of these. It is the same thing over and over, but what the heck? So now that becomes multiplication, and we're going to flip that one upside down. Okay, I'm going to leave that one. It's just more of the same. We keep going down. Let's see. I'll do this one. So we're doing the same. We're going to keep the top, change it, and flip it. So I'm going to go ahead and start factoring. So I'm not writing this stuff over and over and over. Okay, this bottom, unfortunately it's AC method, so I'm working on this guy. That's negative 12 over there. So I've got plus Got 2y squared plus 12y minus 1y minus 6. Got to take a negative 1 out of the back there. Okay, so this is going to turn out to be 2y minus 1 and y plus 6. Now, I'm changing it to multiplication, and I'm flipping this upside down. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Pull a 4 out of there, and I get 2y minus 1. Now, this has now become the bottom. Oh boy, they're not being very nice. So we're going to do 2 and negative 6. Oh, hold on. We got a GCF first. That'll make it a little better, so I'll show that. We're flipping this. We take 2. We get y squared minus y minus 30. Yeah, that'll help us. Okay, so everything is factored down except this guy right down here. And instead of rewriting it all, let's see, minus 6 and plus 5. Okay, so this could be factored. So I'm keeping, changing, flipping, factoring everything down. Got my matches. All right, just be careful. 2 and 4 can reduce. That makes that a 2. I'm going to wind up with 2 over y plus 5. Okay, all right, now they've got just 3 in a row. I don't think I would give this to you, but let's just see what we would do here. All we would do is we're going to just flip over the last one. So the first one's become like we did in the previous section. Now we're changing it to multiplication, and we're flipping this upside down. Now, all of that is just going to get factored. We slash things down, and there we go. Okay, so factoring all these is super time consuming. Maybe I'll do one of these. Let's see here. But just what I want you to see is the only thing is this division turns this to a multiplication, and it gets flipped upside down. That's it. Otherwise, now we factor everything and we slash down. I think there's probably 2 of these left. Let me just do this one. So the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to flip this, but just going to start factoring so that we save some space. Okay. Okay, now I just treated this like we've been doing. It's multiplication, factored everything down. Now this just turns to multiplication and gets flipped upside down. So it's going to become 6m minus 48 over 12m minus 36. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. So that's been flipped. I'm going to go ahead and take that 6 out of there. Take a 12 out of the bottom. All right, now everything has been factored. Any matches can go away. Do I have any others? I don't think so. So just the numbers here. So this is 2 times 2. This is 2 times 3. This is 2 times 2 times 3. So let's cancel some of these. I can cancel the 2 here, 3 there, 2 there. So I am left with 2 times m plus 1 times m plus 2 over 3 times m plus 4 m minus 3. So nothing different here. We're treating this part the same as we did. This division is just going to get changed to multiplication and flipped upside down. Now there's one more, but I'm going to skip it because of how time consuming they are and how similar it all is. Okay, I hope that made some sense.